So if you guys haven't noticed what I'm doing yet, I'm doing the DIY build your own bait trap, and for under 20 bucks. So we just pulled up some material, pulled into Home Depot, and I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown of the material that I use. So starting off with the cage itself, the bait pin itself, I usually use chicken mash. I try to stay 1/2 inch, and as you see, you got rolls here. You're not going to need that big of a roll unless you're doing a big bait pin or a big bait trap. You could do standard aluminum, but it's going to rust out on you. I like to go with the weatherproof one. And as you see, for $12.98, you get 2x5 half inch chicken wire. Oh, yo. Wow. And then we're gonna need zip ties to finish up this project. So I'm gonna check in with you on the zip tie side. And like I said, you go the cheaper route. The cheaper route is either doing the $9.98 or doing the $6.80. But the problem is with these kind of chicken mash is that they're gonna rust out underwater, especially if you use them for salt. This one on the other side, I use it for brackish and salt water and fresh water, and I haven't had it rust because it's weatherproof coated. So I'll check in with you guys at the zip ties. So the second thing I'm gonna need are zip ties. Zip ties are running for $7.98, and I think they're a pack of 100. So that's gonna be basically it. 1/2 inch chicken mash, zip ties, and I'm gonna build a bait trap for under 20 bucks. I'll check in with you guys when I head out and cash out and show you the receipt so you guys see that everything falls into place of under $20 marker. It's your boy Fish Guy Lou. Check back in with you in a minute. So that's about it. I got the chicken mash, I got the zip ties. Our total came out to $21.43. So we spent $1.43. Zip ties or the chicken mash must have went up on pricing. But hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna build the trap and let's get it done. So this is gonna be a continuation of the DIY bait trap. All I'm using is, like I said before, 1/2 inch chicken mash and a couple of zip ties. So now I found the zip ties cheaper at Walmart, and the only person that carries the chicken mash either the Lowe's or Home Depot. So you get the chicken mash, I believe it was almost 10 bucks, and these were 7. You get them at Walmart for $6, $6.50. What you're gonna need, tools and material that you're gonna need for this, is a pair of tin snips or dikes. You're gonna need a knife or a pair of scissors. And some gloves. Doesn't matter what kind of gloves. I use my work gloves. And the only reason why is because it can get real nasty dealing with this. So we're gonna get right into it. Now the idea is to make a cylinder. So it already comes as a cylinder. All you're gonna do is stretch it out a little bit and make a cylinder the size that you need it. If you're trying to do a small trap, you could do a cylinder like that. I like a little bit bigger trap, so I'm going to do a bigger cylinder. So I'll take mine. Measure it up like that. And that should be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my cut, and how I do it is I follow the tag in on the inside, and I do a cut all the way down, staying in the same breaks. It's to open up the cylinder, such as like this. take one zip tie and tag your end up here. Remember, you're only tagging because you're going to cut upon the trace line that you have with all your barrels. So that's one side. Now some people like to honeycomb it, such as like that. And a honeycomb is a cylinder that goes big and goes small. Like that. Brace, which is one zip tie in the beginning where you want your cylinders to start. You're gonna flip it around, and in my case I already did it. You're gonna take another zip tie and you're gonna match the hatch on the other side. So right here, in between my thumbs, in between here, is gonna be another zip tie right here. Just like that. So now I could go ahead with the trap and cut my final cutout, which is going to be this bead right here. I'll get into that in 1 second. As I straighten this cylinder out, I'll come right back to you guys. And that will free up this end. That leaves you with all this material still left to use to finish up your trap. We're going to set this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this process. This is where the zip ties come into effect. We've already cut our bag open. I'll close it up just like this. Now I'm going to remove my gloves because the main part that I was dealing with on cutting this, as you can see, it leaves little spikes, and these guys will tear you up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim all the zip ties and trim up everything else. But while I'm doing that, I could remove my gloves and continue this process. One zip tie here, one zip tie here, and one zip tie here. So we're basically almost there. Don't worry about these cutoffs yet because we're going to clean that up once we start getting into the trap. But we're going to start working on the cylinder, which is the entrance of the cylinder, and we're going to start working there. So what I like to do is I like to take the back end and put a flat slab on the back. What I mean by a flat slab is a flat cutout of half inch chicken mash on the back, and I like to fold it around and zip tie that tight to here. So now you have your trap door for the back. Now all you're going to do is, as you see, it's going to be a box, and all you're going to do is mold this box to this back door. So we're going to push here, we're going to push here, and we're going to push here, and we're going to push here. And then you could take your thumb carefully and roll it around the rim. Now again, you don't have to worry about there being little cracks or crevices in it, such as like this, because your bait is going to be big enough where it's not going to swim out. And your back end's closed. So now that we have the back end, we're going to do the front door, which is the trap door, and we're going to close out. What I did is I cut a framing of it out, a framing like this of the inside. So when I go to put this inside, I'm going to bow it like this all the way down. And the reason why I do this method is because it leaves a pocket back here where I could put squid, bread, or any kind of bait in the back here. So continuing bowing it down, I would want my trap door like that. So when the fish swims in, they're going to an elevated point coming up. So what I'll go ahead and do from here is I'll cut from this bar here all the way around and keep it flush like that. Is I cut a square out, rectangle, square, whatever you want to call it. Cut it out, fitted it for inside the cage, for in here. Went ahead, sized it up. Sized it up. Just about there. Now I'm going to take a zip tie, hold it in place. I'm going to take my other side, which is the other back end of it. I'm going to zip tie to here. And it'll all start to make sense in a minute. So let me finish up with this side real quick. I'm going to strap one more zip tie on this side. Just like that. Just like that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean this all up so you guys can see exactly how it looks. The back catch. You'll be catching pinfish, you'll be catching little blue crabs, you will be catching Mayan cichlids, you'll be catching bluegills, you will be catching baby tilapia, you'll be catching crawfish with this trap. I mean, there's tons of things that you guys can catch with this trap, and again, it's just something that you could do with your friend, your family, your young ones, and just like that. Now the reason why I leave this partial a little bit unbent, I will zip tie it here, but I leave a partial bit unbent is because this is my access door. And then they have a zip tie holding here, here, and here, and they cut it and open it, and the flip and bait drops. I like to cut here, 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 and here, bend it back, and just drop my bait straight out. Very, very simple and easy to build. There's no more than 10 steps in this. You really don't need a knife. I use a knife just to open the packaging, and use the knife to cut zip ties on while we were in a cut scene, because I was using the zip ties as a brace just for you guys, so when I turn back on the camera I know exactly where I'm at. But like I said, it's not that hard. Anybody could do this. I've been building them for fun here and there when pops with my friends, and what I like to do is I like to put one zip tie in the middle, just like this, cut it here, and attach my rope. That way my rope's here, and when I throw the trap out, it's gonna sink, and it doesn't matter which way it lays, the bait's gonna go in. Now the reason why I do secondary doors, there's the primary door and a secondary door behind it. The reason why I do that is because let's say I'm using bread, squid, any cut bait, thread fins, pilchers, anything that's going to get the bait back there, that bait tends to float out the trap with just a cylinder. Now what I do is I make a secondary door, so if that bait decides to raise up and float out, it gets pinched behind the trap door, causing the fish to eat here, but also making them go in to tear up that squid, pilcher, thread fin, bread, hot dog, dog food, cat food, whatever the situation may be. So there you have it. This video is going to be a little bit longer than usual. Bait trap done. That's the inside of it. and I'll show you some underwater footage of the bait trap that we caught. Of course, it's gonna look like the last time we dropped the bait pin, but you guys seem to like it, so here we go. It's your boy Fish Guy Lou. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that stick around and tune in. And there's a whole lot more coming. I'll catch you guys later.